a question about an invocation given in the Georgia House, because I forget the name of the House chaplain, Doyle Kelly, gave a 10-minute prayer. I will be honest and say I didn't do research as far as what the average length of invocations for state legislatures is. I'm going to go ahead and bet that it's Georgia, so maybe. But
10-minute prayer? That sounds like a filibuster.
Prayer / sermon, basically.
Yeah,
but
it's proselytization.
He said that. So there's a question because he veered off into very explicit things. And I'm sort of used to this because the rule is, okay, as long as you can let anyone that asks give an invocation, that's fine. But there's there's relevant Supreme Court precedent, which is interesting. So he veers off towards the end of his 10-minute thing, saying, Jesus thing. The command is there, do all in the name of Jesus Christ. People always ask me, why are there so many lost people in the state of Georgia? And then he talks about, the statistics came out that there's 70% of people in the state of Georgia that are lost. 70%. There are over 10 million people in the state of Georgia. That means there are 7 million people lost. Now you want to hear it in Baptist terms. I mean, I thought we already were, but 7 million people that are lost, are dying, and on their way to hell. That's what that means.
Say define lost.
Yeah. It's actually not clear what survey or statistics he's referring to, or if there are specific ones. There was a poll about abortion that found that 70% of people had views on abortion that were not in line with Baptist teaching or something like that. But the Supreme Court, normally I would just say, yep, that's what they preach, and if they have neutral, applicable, whatever, your Hindus can get in there and say their thing as well. That's been a thing that Americans have had to live with in their government for a while. But in 2014, the Supreme Court ruled that legislative bodies can begin their meetings with prayer, even if that prayer favors a specific religion. But the ruling, which was 5-4 at the time, also said that if a prayer would go too far if, quote, the course and practice over time shows the prayers denigrate non-believers or religious minorities, threaten damnation, or preach conversion. Which this one did.
Obviously.
I was not aware of that language. I thought we were in a much
more theocratic,
accommodationist view as far as the Supreme Court goes.
Wow.
But, that would be interesting if there was.
Kind of a low bar, though. If I'm being honest, that's a pretty low bar.
Yeah,
it is a pretty low bar.
If you let a guy drone on for 10 minutes, eventually he's gonna start doing that. I feel like
going to start judging his constituents.
Yeah. Maybe he shouldn't. Well, no, he doesn't. He's not an elected member. He's their chaplain.
Oh,
he just gets paid by your government. You can't vote him out. Well, not your government, because you've had the wisdom to not live in Georgia. But
right.
What's interesting, and that I've tried to point out to people, is that it's not like suddenly 1 in 4 Americans have become radical evangelicals, right? I don't know if you guys have tried to explain what you do in your spare time or talk about to other people. I've always had problems.
Whenever possible.
Yeah.
I usually keep a significant amount of my personal life pretty vague. So
yeah, I mean
that's the pop speaking.
Yeah. People have to getting any information about myself and in my personal life from my coworkers and stuff. It's like pulling teeth. It's just it's a thing I've always I've never been very open at all. Doing this show is so out of character for me.
Yeah,
weird. I'm more of an evangelical atheist.
De-evangelical. I always like getting the negatives. How about you, Dennis? Do you deconvert regularly? De-evangelize? De-preach?
I don't often get the opportunity.
So
no.
You need a 16-year-old bride.
Ouch.
I'm too busy watching YouTube people of other people deconverting other people.
I say, a 16-year-old bride, and then you can try and explain to her why the situation that y'all are in is totally fucked up and it shouldn't happen.
Yeah, we should buy all the 16-year-old brides and then set them free.
I don't know that it's technically legal to overtly sell your child, but oh God, no, he's looking for citations.
There was a different quote that I was going to read.
Oh,
I
okay.
forgot to do it. I'm not.
So
gonna